Please welcome Steve Sohmer.
Vicky's apartment was in the Dakota, a massive 19th century pile the well-known and well-heeled called home. Back then, Lauren Bacall and Leonard Bernstein lived there. So did Judy's Garland and Holiday. You saw Dakota's facade in Rosemary's Baby and on the evening news when John Lennon was assassinated under its porte-cochere. Vicky's condo was an agglomeration of Russified woodworked rooms with drapey velvet curtains that blocked out the morning and the view of the park. It was cocoon-like, insulated. I should have grasped the significance, but like I keep saying, I was 19. Her bedroom, where we passed our nights, was carpeted in fur, like the footwells of a Rolls. That had been her ex-husband's idea. She liked to fling herself down on that carpet and fling her dressing gown open. I suppose that was her way of getting even. The walls were upholstered in moire silk. They surrounded a bed as broad and deep as an ocean churning with predators. The carpet and walls soaked up every moan, every cry. It was a room for whispering. Nights after Vicky was sated, we whispered together in the dark. She told me about her stage debut in San Francisco. She'd been 15, an ingenue, a Juliet. At 19, she packed her pointy bras and drove south toward the aurora of Hollywood. She told how she struggled to find an agent and meet producers and directors who might throw her a part. She told how her money ran out. She would laugh each time she told me how she wangled a screen test by bearding a famous producer in his home. She described the little skirt she wore that day and how she sat on the lowest chair in the room so he could see her stocking tops and the plump V of her lilac panties. She talked about becoming a Goldwyn girl and falling in love with Fritz Lang, the metropolis Fritz Lang, monocle and all, and dating Babe Ruth. She talked about fucking Gary Cooper in the paint shop and playing a spy opposite Dana Andrews. She fucked Andrews in his Packard. He was drunk, as usual, and Cooper was hung like a horse. All that began one night after class. We shared a cab downtown, and Vicky invited me up for a drink. Halfway through a muesli, she said, "I feel like I've been wearing these clothes since August. Give me a minute to change." She went into the bedroom. Forever passed. She came out wearing a lilac dressing gown. She didn't sit down. "Are you in love with me?" she said. It was such a bald question I couldn't reply. "I know," she said softly. She cocked her head and stared at me as though I were a street urchin begging a handout. Then her lips tightened. "Well," she said, resolved. She unlaced the silk rope and opened her gown. It was theatrical, like the curtains at the music hall rising as they parted. She was high-breasted. She shaved. Her legs were perfect. She said, "Do you want me this way?" Well, I was speechless. No, the superlative of speechless. I was breathless to the verge of asphyxiation. "Come," she said, and switched off the lamp. We made love, or whatever it was that first time, on gold satin sheets in a bed as wide as the Pacific, floating somewhere above a fur carpet in a mythical palace hung between Central Park and the moon. In her arms, I felt engulfed, surrounded, consumed. I'd never been with a woman who shaved down there. Those gorgeous thighs embraced my hips. Her heels drove the backs of my knees like an equestrian spurs. She was tight. She climaxed at the first push, then again and again. When I had, she turned her face to the pillow and wept. I was afraid I'd hurt her. "No," she said. "No, it's not that." She never said what it was. There are things adults don't discuss with children. The next morning, her wedding ring vanished.